Wired magazine with a terrific story about how, unfortunately, the Democratic Party, yet again, is tilted against upstarts, against progressives, and in favor of incumbents in the establishment. This is about how they restrict access to voting files. So they followed a couple of candidates in this story. They happen to be just Democratic candidates. First one they talked about was Anthony Clark, and they explained his story in this way. They say that Vote Builder, which is one of the things that you need to get access to the voter files or the voter files, Vote Builder has become the central nervous system of every Democratic campaign, housing years of information on just about every contact the party has ever made with every voter. Developed through a partnership between DNC and a company called NGP Van, the tool gives campaigns the inside track on potential donors, volunteers, or voters out of a pool of thousands, or in the case of a presidential election, millions of people. Now, you can see why that is enormously important. And if you keep it only to the establishment, well, that's gonna, if you will, rig the system in favor of those incumbents and the establishment and the elites. So, Izzy Lepowski, writing for Wired, explains, but thanks to an intricate system of state-by-state rules governing who gets access to that data, a system critics say is tailor-made to protect incumbents, some Democratic primary challengers, like Anthony Clark, are being denied access to this critical pool of information by their own party. And why is that? Well, Anthony Clark explains. He says the machine protects incumbents. What's one more way you can stack the deck against me? Deny me access to valuable information and data. Look, this is an important story and you should check it out for its own merits. But if you're frustrated by it, my opinion is that you should help these guys running as true progressives, strong progressives against the corrupted elites. We'll have links to Anthony's website and how you could donate to him in the description box below. Now let me give you more from Izzy's article. She explains, in Illinois, the state party prevents any candidate running against an incumbent from gaining access to Vote Builder. Why? That's outrageous. There's so many things built into the Democratic Party. Like in New York, you have to register 6 months before the election as a Democrat. If the Republicans had done that in Alabama, we would say, oh my God, voter suppression, because it is voter suppression. And the Democrats, as they charge Republicans with it, they are right. But within their own ranks, within their primaries, they do the same thing. And sometimes arguably worse in the case of New York and here in Illinois, where they say, I'm not gonna give you any access to Vote Builder unless you're already part of the establishment. It's outrageous. Now, it gets worse. Look, this is true in so many races, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She pays for a voter file, doesn't get what she paid for. We'll have the link to the article down below too. Read the whole article for yourself. Why? She's running against Joseph Crowley, the #4 Democrat in the House. He controls the system. He's not gonna allow her to have the information, but that's fundamentally unfair. Now, to me, one of the worst cases is in the state of Washington. Sarah Smith running against incumbent Adam Smith. Wait till you get a load of this. In Washington's 9th district, Sarah Smith, a Justice Democrat running a primary campaign against incumbent Democratic Adam Smith, was told that access to Vote Builder required endorsement of 50% of legislative district clubs, +1, as well as backing of the state party chair. But state legislators often wait until close to the actual primary to make an endorsement, Smith says, meaning her campaign would have to spend the majority of the race waiting around for endorsements before gaining access to the data. And even then, the likelihood of sitting party officials endorsing a challenger over an incumbent is low. Basically, what that does is say, you need to win the election before you win the election. But wait, I can't win the election if I don't have access to this voter information. But I can't get the access to the voter information until I win a secret vote, not secret because it eventually becomes public, but a vote of insiders, which doesn't happen until right before the election, and then which good does it do me to have those voter files when it's too late? It is rigged, not in that they are changing votes, but in that they have set the rules against challengers, against primaries. in favor of incumbents, in favor of the establishment. And then they wonder why people are mad at the Democratic Party. That's why. You don't have fundamentally fair processes in place for progressives to mount real challenges. So it gets a little bit more Orwellian here. Smith says she asked to see where that bylaw is written down, but was refused. The Washington State Party didn't respond to multiple requests for comment. In other words, this part is secret. We're telling you can't have access to Vote Builder in this case, but when you ask us why, we say, well, there's a rule that you need to get all this approval first. Well, where's the rule? We're not going to show you, it's a secret. Preposterous. Okay, at least she can have access to another kind of voter file if she pays for it. It's not as good, and it puts her at a significant disadvantage. But in order to get that access for a separate voter file, she'd have to show that she was denied access to Vote Builder. Here's where it gets the third layer of Orwellian. As a last resort, Sarah Smith's campaign spokesman asked the party for a letter stating that they were being denied access to Vote Builder. At least then they could get access to SmartVan. That's the other voter information pool, right? In response, the Smith campaign says they received a Kafkaesque email claiming that even though campaigns can't access Vote Builder without the endorsements, quote, in our eyes, a campaign that doesn't have endorsements hasn't been denied. So they're like, since we didn't have the vote of the establishment yet in the state of Washington, you technically haven't been denied, so you also can't even buy access to a worse voter database. Gee, I wonder if the system is rigged in favor of the establishment and against progressives that are looking to challenge them. It is startlingly obvious from the facts in this case. So read the whole Wired magazine article, again, description box below, and then check out Sarah Smith, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Anthony Clark's campaigns and find out if you'd like to help, how you can help them. Those links are all in the description box below.